try that. There we go. Good morning, Trinity, and good morning to those who are also worshiping with us at home. I'm super grateful to be here today and grateful to be your not your stewardship chair. No, thank you, Claudia. Your council president. But when Claudia asked me if I do a stewardship moment, I do have to say I felt a little bit like Jen Rivera and was like, you want me to talk about it? So I thought about this a lot, and no, Pastor Chris and I did not exchange notes this morning. She has no idea what I'm going to say, and this is not a Christmas ornament. It is a prop. And so I wanted to just have you think about three words: faith, courage, and fearlessness. Faith, courage, and fearlessness. So what do those words mean to you? I imagine that these might be some of the words that our ancestors were talking about when they started Trinity in 1871. Stillwater, the birthplace of Minnesota, wasn't even 20 years old, or just a little over 20 years old, and it was a pretty tumultuous world at that time too. Horse and buggies were the mode of transportation, and that is not how I got to church today. Plastics hadn't even been invented yet. Montgomery Ward was a shopping experience of the century. There was commercially prepared foods for the first time, and Ulysses S. Grant was nominated as president. So if we leap forward 28 presidents later, we now are in the middle of a global pandemic, and no, it is not done. We have electric cars. Who would have dreamed? We have plastics plugging up our ocean. DoorDash is booming. I personally love DoorDash. And yes, William Shatner, i.e. Captain Kirk, actually went into space. For real. In case you didn't miss that. So it continues to take faith, courage, and fearlessness from each and every one of the individuals associated with Trinity to help our church thrive for the next 150 years. Will it look different? Absolutely. Will the issues be different? Maybe or maybe not. But someone might be standing right here in 150 years, right in those pews, and say, can you believe they did space travel in that kind of a rocket? Geez, what were they thinking? That's why stewardship matters. It's why giving our gifts of time and energy and money and love make all the difference. So I view it a little bit like this big ball of you don't know what yet. But if you look at the back, I know for those of you who are online, you can't see it, but on the back of the pews, Tom and Bob and many other people in our organization at Trinity have put tape. And so on Monday night at a mass ministry meeting, Pastor Chris was standing up here and said, hey, why don't you guys just start to pull some of the tape off? Because we've all learned how to do social distancing. And at first, it was just a little bit, you start a little bit of just peeling it back, and it's fragile, and it's kind of difficult to get it started. And Monty and I, who's right back wherever Monty went, he and I were having a little competition to see who could get it off fastest. And in that fragility of the individual pieces of tape, we started to ball it up together, and it got bigger and bigger, and it got stronger and stronger. And now if I tried to pull it apart, there's no way that I could get it apart. Now, maybe some of Krista and Nathan's girls could get it apart, but I don't think I would have the patience. So when we pull our resources together, we grow tighter as a community of people that love Jesus, and we welcome all of our neighbors to celebrate this love with us because we get stronger with that love. We get more courageous. We get more fearless. And we find a community that loves us through all things. So why do Jim and I give to Trinity? And that's Jim, in case you're wondering. I am his biggest fan. So, because this is our community, and this is the people who love God. These are people, when I look out across here and see people I admire and totally respect for what they give in this world. And this is where our family and our grandchildren are learning about God. So this is the foundation of love for us. And are we scared sometimes about being bold in our giving? Absolutely. But every time that we've stepped into being uncomfortable, we've grown as human beings and we've grown as people of God. So one of my favorite Bible verses is 2 Corinthians 9, verse 8. And it says, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." I love that phrase. God will bless you abundantly. God will bless you abundantly. Jim and I have been abundantly blessed, particularly in these last 6 months. We continue to see God in so many ways and marvel at our abundance and our blessings. So as you prayerfully consider your pledge for 2022 and beyond, may God continue to bless you abundantly and bless Trinity for the next 150 years. And as Pastor Chris said, God is the anchor out there pulling us forward for the next 150 years. And much like our ancestors 150 years ago, we have to have faith, we have to be courageous, and we have to be fearless. And all God's people said, with joy and maybe even a dance, Amen. Thank you.